guys, it's August the 6th, 2024, and I hope everybody's having a great day today. For any of you guys that are dealing with this tropical storm or hurricane, whatever it is, I hope everybody's staying safe out there and nobody's had any damage or anybody's gotten hurt. We've had tons of rain all night long last night, and it's been raining all day today. But the wind hasn't been too bad at all. That was my biggest concern was, just the heavy gust of wind that might knock over trees on our property or fall down and, you know, break the fencing that we have for animals. I'm just worried about our animals getting out or something like that. But so far, so good. And I think we're supposed to get like the worst part of it around like 2 or 3 o'clock this afternoon. And it does not seem like it's going to get too bad. So it looks like we kind of lucked out on this one. So no big deal there. Today, I want to talk about a video that I watched this morning. And the video that I watched was done by this gentleman that has a channel called Habits V2. I'm going to add the link to that video in the comments section. I'm going to pin it in the comments, so it'll be right at the very top of the comments. And the link will be there. If you're interested in going and watching his video that I'm going to be discussing today, the video is only about 5 minutes long, so it's not long at all. But I'll give you the gist of basically what he was talking about. What he was saying is, should we continue to label ourselves as alcoholics or someone with AUD for the rest of our lives? And, and I got the point of what he was trying to say. And what he was saying is that, if somebody is extremely overweight and they lose the weight, do they go on the rest of their life calling themselves overweight? Well, no. Or if somebody is a smoker and they quit smoking, do they go on for the rest of their lives calling themselves a smoker? Most don't. They were a previous smoker. And he used a couple of examples like that and was saying, that in most other areas of our lives, if we stop doing something, we don't continue calling ourselves or labeling ourselves, whatever that is. And like I said, I understand the point that he was trying to make, and I totally get it. And I agree with him to a certain extent, but I just think that the gentleman is wrong, in my opinion. And I'm not trying to start an argument here or anything like that. I'm really just giving my opinion and what I think about myself. So I'm just going to use myself for example in today's video. And if you feel differently, I completely understand. And I'm not saying that, that I'm either right or wrong. I could most definitely be wrong in what I'm talking about today. So I'm not trying to start something here, some big argument with everyone. I'm just, just going to give my opinion on what I think. And what I think about myself. So I'm just going to apply this to me and how I feel about the situation. But for my own self, I don't see the point in that, because at the end of the day, for the rest of my life, I'm going to have AUD. Now, will I be in the middle of drinking or in the middle of severe AUD or alcoholism the rest of my life? Well, no. I mean, I'm not drinking right now. But the thing is that for the rest of my life, I have to be careful and I have to stay on my guard because I do have AUD and I'm an alcoholic. If I was to have one sip of one beer or one sip of a glass of wine or a sip of a liquor drink, that would just send me right off the edge. There would be no coming back from that. There's no way that I could just have just a little bit and just say, oh, well, that's it. I'm not going to touch that again. I know good and well who I am and where I came from. And, one of the reasons I make these videos every single day talking about this subject because, dealing with AUD is not easy. And trying to quit is not easy. And that living the life suffering with AUD is a horrible way to live. And I lived it for so many years. And, I just don't think that that I could ever just push that to the back of my mind like it's not a huge part of my life. I always have to stay on guard, and I always have to be aware that I do suffer from this, and um, that feeling of wanting to drink, I don't think is ever going to fully ever totally go away. With time, those cravings or those feelings of maybe I want to have a drink, yeah, they get way more spread out, and as time goes on, yeah, those thoughts, when before, like when I first stopped drinking, I thought about it all day long. Every couple minutes it was on my mind, the pacing back and forth and thinking about, man, I wish I could just have a drink. That was, all day long, and, it was constant. But as times progressed, yeah, those thoughts get more spread out. And, after 6 months, maybe I thought about it just a couple times a day, opposed to thinking about it, every 10 minutes. And then as a year came by, maybe it was just maybe 2 or 3 times a day. And now where I'm at, I still think about drinking at least once a day, once every other day, somewhere around there. That thought will come into my mind. And I think that if I was to say, well, I've got this so much time under my belt, I've been sober for this long, I don't need to concern myself with that anymore because I've already fixed that problem. I just don't think that'd be a good way for me to live, because I think I'd be opening myself up to exposure. And I think that if I wasn't staying on top of my guard at all times, that the opportunity to slip up would introduce itself a little bit more. And I just don't think that saying and who's to know, because he doesn't really go into detail about how long or when someone should decide to say that they're not any longer. Everybody's on their own individual journeys, and like I said, I'm on my own personal journey. And for me, where I'm at in my journey might be completely different from you, and what might trigger me might not trigger you. I mean, we're all so different, but also alike in so many ways as well. Every single day when I get on this channel and talk to people in the comments and hear other people's stories, the amount of a likeness that we have to each other with the way that we drank, the way that we hid things, the way that we lied about our alcohol consumption, just all those aspects of it. We all are so similar in those areas. But once again, each one of our own journeys is personalized to ourselves, because we're not all the same. Not all of us started drinking at the same time. Not all of us drank the same alcohol. Not all of us drank, with the same frequency that others did. But once again, I just don't think that going, oh well, I've got so much time under my belt now. I'm not an alcoholic anymore, so I'm not going to say that I am. I just don't think that's a good practice. And that's just my personal opinion. I think that we need, it's not something that we need to go around shouting out to the world all the time, I don't believe. I don't think that's something that we need to share with every single person that we encounter in our day-to-day life. That's something that's very personal to ourselves. I think there's a time and a place, and sometimes we do have to share that with people and say, hey, just so you know, I have AUD, and I appreciate you offering me these drinks over and over, but I don't drink. That might be a situation where you just tell somebody I don't drink, and if they keep pushing, then you just say, look, I have a problem with alcohol. Please stop offering that to me, because one sip and it'll set me off. But I just don't think it's something that we need to go around sharing with every single person that we come into contact with. But at the same time, I think it's something we need to be honest with ourselves about. And for myself, I know that I definitely need to be honest with myself about that. It's not something that I need to just drop it and go, well, I've got 2 years and 4 months or whatever, however long I've been sober, and say that I've got that much time now, so I don't need to worry about it anymore. I'm not an alcoholic any longer, so I'm not going to bother with it. I'm good. because I'm not. I still get triggered by certain things. I might drive by a liquor store that I used to go to all the time. That thought pops right into my head. If somebody's putting hand sanitizer on their hands, and I get the smell of the alcohol, it's an automatic trigger. As soon as I smell hand sanitizer, I automatically think of vodka. I promise you guys, every single time, the thought of vodka pops into my head. And I've got to stay on top of that. I'm just not going to just drop my guard and say, I'm not an alcoholic anymore. It's been so long. I'm not going to worry about it. I was thinking about it before I started filming today's video, and it's kind of like having diabetes. I have diabetes. I've got my diabetes, under control to a certain extent. For the most part, I have my diabetes under control. My blood sugar stays pretty even most days. But when I first was diagnosed with diabetes, and for a very long time, I had a hard time. I struggled with my diabetes. I had to learn how to live with diabetes. I had to learn the proper foods to eat. I had to learn because everybody's different, especially even with alcoholism and even with diabetes. Uh, what might spike one person might not spike another. And I'm on a bunch of like diabetes forums and stuff like that, and I see people discussing things all the time. Somebody will go on there and say, "Hey, are grapes okay to eat?" And all these people will go on there and say, "Absolutely not. You can't eat grapes. They're gonna spike you." And then you'll get a couple people that go on there and say, "I eat grapes every day, and they don't spike my blood sugar, one bit." It might come up a couple points, but it doesn't spike me 50 points or anything like that. And once again, we're all different. But with my diabetes, it was very hard in the beginning. Just like when we go to stop drinking, I had a really hard time with it. I was new to to knowing I had diabetes. I was new to trying to regulate my blood sugar. I was new to this whole new way of eating. I was new to taking insulin with all my meals. I was new to taking long-acting insulin. It took time for me to adjust and to learn how to live with diabetes. And, just like with alcoholism and not calling ourselves an alcoholic, I have my A1C pretty much under control at this point. It's still not what a normal person's A1C would be, but my A1C is pretty close to what my endocrinologist would like it to be. So since I have my A1C under control right now and my blood sugar is pretty regulated and it's not up and down all day long every single day, I don't just go, okay, well, I don't have diabetes any longer. No, I still have diabetes. Am I doing a better job controlling it and regulating it? Absolutely. Is it something that, is it like it was in the beginning where it was constantly a problem? My blood sugar would get up to 300-400 on some days, and I'd have to go to the doctor because of it, or I would take too much insulin because my blood sugar was too high, and then I would forget to eat or something, and my blood sugar would drop all the way down, and next thing you know, my blood sugar was like 60 or something, and I felt like I was about to pass out. I would have these ups and downs all the time. And now it's been a couple years and I've learned to live with it a lot better. Am I perfect at it? No, absolutely not. But I'm better at living my life with diabetes. And my A1C is much better than it was, in the beginning. Last year I was having so many problems with my pancreas. I was having the hardest time regulating my blood sugar, but now things have regulated and they're doing much better. But I haven't just said, okay, well, that's it. I don't have diabetes anymore and I'm just not going to worry about it. No, I know that I have diabetes and I'm going to have diabetes for the rest of my life. But do I think about it as much as I did back then? No, I don't. I don't go around telling everybody I have diabetes. It's not something I announce to the whole entire world. It's something that's personal to me. Now, if I end up, at a grocery store and my blood sugar was to drop and, I felt like I was about to pass out and, if I had to sit down on the floor and somebody walked up to me and said, "Hey, are you okay? You need some help." The first thing I would tell them is, "Hey, I'm diabetic. I'm having some problems right now with my blood sugar. Could you maybe call 911?" That's what I would do. And it's, same thing with alcoholism. Um, you know, anytime that I go to a new doctor, a new hospital, I start talking about my medical history, and I tell them I'm an alcoholic, and I have all these problems, and they were caused due to my alcoholism, and I need them to know that I did have a problem with alcohol, and that I caused these problems because of my alcohol consumption. Because they need to know that. Otherwise, they might look for another reason why I have cirrhosis or whatever. They need to be aware of these situations. But I'm getting a little bit off topic here. But back to my point. It's like I was saying. I have my diabetes pretty well under control now, but I still have diabetes for the rest of my life, and I still have to be mindful of the fact that I have diabetes for the rest of my life. I still have to watch my carbs every single day. I still have to give myself injections of insulin. I have not started my insulin pump. They're supposed to be doing a video call with me this week to help me and guide me on how to use it, because from what I understand, it's kind of complicated. I've been signing all kinds of documents and doing all this paperwork to get ready for this. I had no idea that there was going to be so much stuff involved in an insulin pump. But, once again, my diabetes is pretty much under control, but I'm still going to have diabetes the rest of my life. I'm going to have to take my long-acting insulin every single night. I'm going to have to take my fast-acting insulin, 15 minutes before each meal. Still going to have to count my carbs and use the sliding scale until I get that insulin pump done. I have to be mindful of what my blood sugar is, because if it gets too low, I could end up in trouble. If it gets too high, I can end up in trouble. But now where I'm at with it, I do a much better job, and I know the right foods to eat, and it stays pretty well. But I'm still going to have diabetes the rest of my life. I still have to take my medication every single day for it. That's not going to go away. Is it something that I think about 24/7? Absolutely not. Did I think about it a lot more when I was in the beginning of it? Yeah. But, now that time's progressed, it's not as big of a deal as it was in the beginning. And the same thing goes with our drinking. As time progresses, as time goes forward, yeah, it gets a lot easier, but it's still there. And, if we were to pick up one drink, for myself, if I was to pick up one drink, that would be it. That'd be all she wrote. I would fall right back into my old patterns all over again. And with this amount of time that I have sober, that could be potentially life-threatening. Because when we fall off the wagon and go back to our drinking again, we often way overdrink, and our tolerance has gone from up here to down here, and a lot of times when people relapse, they end up getting very ill because they drink way too much, with alcohol poisoning and things like that. I just think that it's really dangerous for us to just go, I'm not an alcoholic anymore. And, once again, I don't think it's something that we need to go around, shouting out to the world and telling everybody. But I think it's something that we need to be mindful of, and always just be careful and be aware that we have this problem, whether it be genetic or whether it's a mental disorder or whatever it is. I think there's a lot of genetic predisposition to alcoholism. I have a lot of alcoholics in my family. And I've talked about this too, is that, they say that, and there's scientists that have talked about this. Andrew Huberman has talked about this. Jordan Peterson has spoken about this. There's a lot of people who have spoken about this, about the fact that if you're the type of person that when you drink, you get wound up because alcohol is a depressant. And for normal people, when they drink, it tends to bring them kind of down. It just kind of slows them down. Feel very relaxed. Their mind slows down. That's not what happened with me when I drank. When I drank, I got wound up. It was like I took an upper. Alcohol is a stimulant for me, and it always has been. Now, there is a fine line for me as well, because, alcohol was a stimulant until it wasn't anymore. I would get to that point, and then I would fall right off the edge of the cliff. Once I got to a certain level, I just kind of dropped off. And that's when I could barely stay awake. That's when I would just get up in the middle of a party or whatever and just go straight to my room and lay down and go to bed. I wouldn't say anything to anybody. I would just pass out. But for the most part, majority of the time, alcohol was a stimulant for me. And they say that for people that when they drink, if alcohol is a stimulant, watch out and be careful. That means that your body breaks alcohol down differently than most people. And, a depressant becomes a stimulant for us. And I think that's one of the reasons, I'm not 100% sure about that, but I think it's one of the reasons that they give like people with ADD or ADHD stimulants, because they have a reverse effect for people with that. I was diagnosed with ADD when I was younger. They put me on Ritalin, and Ritalin is basically speed. And when I took it, it took me down. It made me feel really calm. I didn't want to take it anymore. They had put me on that medication when I was a teenager, and I stopped taking it because I didn't like the way it made me feel. It made me feel just way too down, way too low, just like vibrationally. I just was just on this low frequency level, and I just didn't feel like myself. I've always been kind of a high-strung person, really artistic. And I felt like when I took that medication, I just lost all my creativity. I didn't feel like my same self. But once again, a stimulant makes me do this, but a depressant makes me do this. And, I have to be very careful with that. I don't want to slip up one day and think that everything's okay and, end up at some wedding or something and they're passing around glasses of champagne, and I go, well, I've got 10 years now. I think one glass of champagne will be okay. I'm obviously not an alcoholic anymore because I've gone this long. And before you know it, I'm right back in it all over again. And I know myself all too well. There's no way that I could just have a glass of champagne, because as soon as I would get that feeling, that warm, euphoric feeling, that I always searched for, chasing that dragon. As soon as I felt that again, it would be all over. There would be no stopping me. Absolutely none. I would go from 0 to 100 miles per hour in a matter of 2 seconds. And I would be right back in the grasp of alcohol all over again. But once again, this is just my opinion. I just don't think, that just dismissing the fact that, that we were alcoholics, and I'm not saying that, once that we stop that we're, that we should, like I said, that we should go around telling everybody that we're alcoholics and just broadcast it to the world, and every person that you meet, I'm an alcoholic, I need you to know that I'm an alcoholic. I think that's something that we should keep to ourselves. We let our loved ones and our close friends know, maybe, or maybe we don't. It's totally up to you. It's your life. Most people that I know that I am, and I don't go around preaching it to everybody, but most people know. And because especially if I go somewhere and somebody's drinking and I get offered a drink, I just say no, thank you. I don't drink anymore. I used to have a problem with it and I can't. And I say that because I just want to go ahead and nip it in the butt right there. I don't want it to go any further. I don't want them to try to pressure me into it. I just tell them, hey, I have a problem with that, and I cannot drink. And I don't make a big deal about it, but I just let them know, like, basically, like, I don't drink. Please don't ask me again, because I'm not going to take it. But I just don't think it's a good idea for us just to go, okay, well, I don't drink anymore, so everything's A-okay. And, it's a lifelong issue. It's for me. I know for the rest of my life that I can never touch another sip of it. I can never, ever touch alcohol ever again. Because if I do, I'm going to be right back at square one all over again. I know myself all too well. And I'm not going to fool myself into thinking anything different. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'd like to hear what you guys think, what your opinion is on this topic. Watch that video and then come back and tell me what you think. Like I said, it's only like 5 minutes long. I am planning on going ahead and filming another video today for tomorrow. So if you see me and I'm in the same spot with the same clothes on tomorrow, it's because I went ahead and filmed today. I'm pretty sure I will. I'm not 100% sure. My kids are home today. They stayed home from school because of the storm. I just didn't want them going to school today because of it. They didn't cancel school or anything, but I just kept them home. I just wanted them to be home, be safe. But most likely I'm going to film tomorrow's video today because tomorrow I have surgery in the morning. I have oral surgery at 8 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. I have to unfortunately have 3 more teeth pulled. They're all back teeth that I'm having removed. I basically have no more molars after this now. And all my losing my teeth is due to my illness. It's because I got so sick, I wasn't eating correctly, just all the stuff I've been through. My gut biome got all messed up because of all this stuff. So it messed my teeth up. And I already had 3 teeth pulled back in like March or April. I can't remember exactly when it was. I think it was March. And they wanted to wait because I'm on blood thinners. They would have went if I was just a regular Joe Schmo off the street. They would have went ahead and pulled all 6 at the same time. But I'm on blood thinners. I take blood thinners twice a day. So with the blood thinning, they wanted to just go ahead and pull 3 first, and then I give those time to heal. And then I got to go back and then have these other 3 pulled tomorrow. So I'm not sure if I'll be filming anything tomorrow or not. I would like to go ahead and have a video done today so that I don't have to worry about it tomorrow. Although I'm probably most likely going to film myself after I get done tomorrow. I might film myself going into the doctor's office. I might just make a little, just take you guys along with me on the journey that I'm gonna be on tomorrow, and I might either put that up tomorrow or either Thursday. It just depends, but I'll take you guys along with me. I'll go into the dentist office or the oral surgery office, and then after I wake up, I'll talk to you guys while I'm kind of still out of it. I might say something funny. Who knows? The last time I had my teeth pulled, my mom went into the pharmacy to get my medications after I got done, and I sat in her car and filmed myself with my things hanging out of my mouth and all that kind of stuff. I was way out of it when I filmed myself that day. But I'll probably film myself because my wife's probably gonna have to go get some medication for me after I get done, and I'll sit in the car and film myself while she's in there doing that, and then I'll film myself when I get home. I'll just take you guys along for the ride tomorrow and just let you see what happens. I will probably be bleeding pretty bad from that, which is why, once again, why they wanted me to split these up and not do it all at once. So this week, if I'm talking kind of funny, that's going to be why. If my face looks swollen or whatever, it's because I'm having my teeth pulled tomorrow. So I might look a little strange. I do imagine that my jaw is probably going to be rather swollen for the rest of the week. And I probably won't be talking all the way there. I might be a little bit off, but we'll see. But like I said, I plan on filming tomorrow's video today just so I don't leave you guys hanging if I'm not feeling well tomorrow. What I think I'm going to do is I filmed a few months ago, I did a goodbye letter to alcohol. And if you have not ever seen that video, and especially with all the new subscribers that are here on the channel, it was one of the coolest things I've ever done, was writing that goodbye letter to alcohol. And like I said, I've done one back in the day, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and film that again, reading that off to you guys, which I'm gonna do a brand new reading of it. But it's very interesting, and for any of you guys out there who have never done that, I cannot suggest doing that more. It is so therapeutic to write a goodbye letter to whatever the substance or whatever it is that you used to have a problem with, whether it be gambling or drugs or alcohol, whatever, to write a goodbye letter to it. It really brings up some things that you might not have ever thought about. But I think I'm going to go ahead and film that after I get done with this, and I'll post that video up tomorrow. But thank you so much for watching today's video, guys. Please check out that video that I'm gonna link in the subscription in the comment section, and just check out what he had to say. And then let me know what you guys think about this. Like I said, I just think that it's not something we need to go around talking about all the time, but I think that we definitely need to remember that we have a problem with alcohol. That we have AUD, and I just think it's going to be something that we have to be mindful about the rest of our lives. No matter how much time that you have, whether it be 10 days, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. Those old demons can come back to the surface really quick if we go dabbling around with that stuff, because we're gonna get that feeling back again, and we're gonna want to keep chasing it. I don't want to know what that feeling feels like ever again. I've kind of forgotten at this point what it feels like now, although I kind of remember, but I just know I don't want to even get close to that. I don't want to know what that feeling is again, because if I do, it's gonna light a fire, and I'm not gonna be able to put it back out. But they say you can't put the genie back in the bottle, and same thing goes with alcohol. You're not gonna get that genie back in the bottle once he's out. So just leave him in there and do not let him back out. But anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get off of here for today. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys so much. And until tomorrow, I'll see y'all then. Like I said, I will take y'all for the journey. So it's either going to be posted tomorrow or Thursday. We'll just see. But I will see you guys tomorrow in tomorrow's video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. And I'll see you then. Bye-bye.